A thief!
In Spider-Man, after some students bully Toby, his luck gets even worse when the incoming crowd includes director Sam Raimi himself, who casually smacks him and nearly chokes him out. In Guardians of the Galaxy, after Chris Pratt's character goes through a breakup, Drax tries to cheer him up with weird poop analogies. One of the jokes didn't make the final cut, but it had everyone cracking up on set.
I bet that the poop that comes out of your butt is just regular poop.
You wouldn't expect Nick Fury to be the one breaking everyone, but in Far From Home, one of his over-the-top tantrums had Tom Holland laughing almost instantly. If they'd kept it in, it might have been one of the funniest moments in the whole movie.
Why me? Because I want you to stop by that Chinese West Indian place, Wings and Tings, and pick us up some food before you come back. Now take it!
In Avengers Endgame, Rocket's random outburst wasn't planned, and the cast's shocked reactions were completely real.
Boom!
Some characters need over-the-top antics to break their co-stars, but for Hugh Jackman, all it took was a single kiss to leave Halle Berry fangirling. She practically melts on the spot, and the break is so real that Hugh has to go in for another kiss.
A thief!
In Spider-Man 2, during a short scene at the Daily Bugle, Jonah Jameson is interrupted by a guy, and he's supposed to say thief, but every time he tries, his fake teeth keep falling out, and it took more than 10 takes to get it right.
A thief!
In Spider-Man, Far From Home, while Ned is having a secret talk with Peter, Peter suddenly sneezes out of nowhere. And it doesn't just break Ned, the whole group completely loses it.
I'm a virgin.
I'm so sorry, dude. I was trying so hard not to sneeze. Andale, you big silver sex toy!
If there's one character who constantly crosses the line, it's no surprise that it's Deadpool. The guy already swears way too much in the actual movie, so you can only imagine how unfiltered things got behind the scenes, where he didn't hold back at all.
Dr. Phil can wait! You can watch the Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercials later, you communist.
While Doctor Strange might have some of the flashiest scenes on screen, behind-the-scenes footage tells a different story. Despite months of training, Benedict Cumberbatch kept failing at the simple task of catching a stick.
Damn it, I'm not that cool.
In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Yondu's funeral might have been emotional on screen, but behind the scenes it was just awkward. Michael Rooker kept falling asleep during the scene, and you can actually hear him snoring in some of the takes. In Spider-Man 2, during the scene where Doc Ock robs a bank to lure out Spidey, the filmmakers actually used real coins, and every time they fell, they kept hitting Alfred Molina on the head, just enough to break his focus every single time. In Avengers Infinity War, the tense scene where Chadwick Boseman gives Bucky a new arm was unexpectedly hilarious behind the scenes. The cast was surrounded by real goats during filming, and the animals kept ruining every take, making it almost impossible for anyone to keep a straight face.
Okay, now you are going too far now.
In No Way Home, Tom Holland freaked out when a real spider came too close, proving that even Spider-Man isn't exactly cool with actual spiders.
Oh, I couldn't leave that. It's on your face!
As if that wasn't enough, another fly crashed one of Steve's scenes with Falcon at the restaurant, and his reaction was so good it totally stole the show.
I just wanted to punch it so bad!
What was supposed to be an emotional scene, with Tom delivering a heartbreaking line about not having his parents, quickly fell apart when he broke character, and soon, the whole crew was laughing along with him.
You know, my parents are dead.
In the X-Men series, there's a really funny prank where someone dressed up as Spider-Man randomly runs into a take, and this happened well before any Spider-Man movies were ever released. In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Star-Lord has a flirty exchange with the High Priestess and the Sovereigns, but the lines that made it into the movie were nothing compared to the hilariously unfiltered ones in the bloopers.
I personally control half the DNA by doing something I call doinking.
That feels so wrong.
In one of the funniest Avengers bloopers ever, the tense scene where a massive monster charges toward the team and Cap tells Bruce to get angry turned out to be pretty hilarious behind the scenes.
Dude, you're on your own!
You really can't mess around when someone as stone-cold serious as Samuel L. Jackson is around. The man doesn't play games. So, when Maria Hill thought she could slip a lie past him, he quickly shut her down.
We need to link all 3 carriers for this to work. I got confused with my eyeline. I think I looked directly into camera.
I don't care. You just forgot the line. Now you're trying to make up some other What was that
No,
the last line?
Though Spidey performs some epic stunts in his movies, the behind-the-scenes footage tells a different story. He's surprisingly clumsy, struggling just to move around. Forget pulling off flashy stunts and cool moves. If that wasn't enough, the scene where Peter heroically scoops up MJ and swings her to safety was actually quite the opposite behind the scenes.
Save me, MJ!
In The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Gwen accidentally yelling Peter in public wasn't scripted, but Emma Stone's reaction was so good they kept it in. While the mishap added to the tense scene in the movie, it had the crew bursting into laughter the first time it happened on set. While Chris Evans plays the ultimate super soldier in the MCU, behind-the-scenes footage shows him hilariously struggling to break a simple prop. With so many action sequences in Marvel movies, some mishaps are bound to happen, like the scene where Thor dramatically catches his hammer during the Battle of New York, which was pretty awkward behind the scenes. Then there's the moment when Natasha, in the middle of her battle, throws something at the cameraman and completely derails the shot.
Oh, sorry.
Surprises.
Ow! Hey!
In The Avengers, the scene where Tony keeps poking Bruce was filmed so many times that it actually started irritating him.
No surprises.
Ow!
By the later takes, he was so fed up he couldn't even hold his prop straight.
Careful, actor on the set. Sorry.
God, you look like a house fire was in another house fire.
In Deadpool, the moment when Ryan Reynolds reveals his messed up face to his friend TJ Miller, the over-the-top descriptions of what it looked like were completely improvised, and some were considered so offensive that even a movie like Deadpool nearly crossed the line.
You look like the inside of other people's assholes.
Avengers!
Out of all the Marvel bloopers, the most adorable has to be the moment when Natasha sweetly tries to say, In Avengers Endgame, there's a hilarious back and forth between Rhodes and Thor, with Rhodes improvising a bunch of witty lines poking fun at Thor.
What's coursing through my veins right now?
Funyuns?
While the jokes were genuinely funny, they were a bit too fourth wall breaking to make it into the biggest movie of all time.
What do you think is coursing through my veins?
Cocoa Puffs? Nachos? Embarrassment?
Lightning.
In Deadpool, after Reynolds' character goes through the experiment that turns him into a mutant, he ends up in a cell with a woman and won't stop calling her weird names, all of which came straight from Ryan's imagination.
Leave me all alone here with Kevin Sorbo, Nikki Sixx, Chris Angel, Mind Freak.
The one that actually made it into the movie was when he called her Rosie O'Donnell, a line that also earned him a well-deserved punch.
You gonna leave me all alone here with less angry Rosie O'Donnell?